Hello and welcome to the Gamepodular Twitch channel. I am your host Hilka. Joining me, as he usually does, is our co-host Scott. How you doing today in sunny Australia?
Yeah, pretty good. Not so sunny now. It's 8 o'clock at night, but bit of a wet one the last couple of days.
I mean, that's good,
Uh,
right? So at least it's like less warm.
yeah, it's sort of. I got thrown off because I hung boring stuff. I hung the washing out yesterday, thinking it was going to be a nice, bright, sunny day,
Oh
and then
yeah,
it
that's
started. Well, but it was still bright and sunny, but then it started pelting. So I had to quickly rush out, get my clothes off the line, and put them in the underneath the other area that's closed off. So
been there.
sort of annoying. Yeah.
My old place.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. My old place just did not have enough space for a dryer, like at all. So I had to hang up all of my clothes, like
Yep.
including bed sheets. And I did have like a nice washing line on my balcony to do it, but I've definitely had some oh no, the the sheets are gonna get wet again moments.
I mean, in Australia, it is. We don't really. I mean, for me, I don't really use the dryer. You only use the dryer when it's very wet and you have clothes to dry,
Yeah.
because it's always preferable. Because we live in such a sunny, hot environment, it's always preferable to do it on the clothesline. I mean, we got the hills hoist here, so
Yeah. I have a dryer now. Mostly like most of what I use it for is like bed sheets and towels and stuff. Cuz like I have a lot of shirts with like prints on them and you don't want to put those in the dryer. It'll absolutely destroy the prints. So I,
yep.
don't. But there's just something magic like hanging towels out to dry makes them like weird and like sort of stiff, and putting a towel in the dryer, they come out so soft and so nice. This is how you can tell I'm like in my 30s, is I get really excited about putting towels in dryers. Man, I used to be fun, I think. I still am in many ways, but like
Look,
it is just
you
one of
playing
those
Luigi's
things where you become an
Mansion.
adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are playing Luigi's Mansion today, you're right. But it is just one of those things where you become an adult and you're like, I've been getting really into like mango chutney recently. And all your friends will just be like, oh, yeah, dude, mango chutney slaps. And like, I still have a lot of like childlike whimsy and energy and desire for fun. But also, there's just something about having like a really good vacuum cleaner. Because there's like good ones and bad ones, and having a really good vacuum cleaner is like life changing. It's one of those things where like you didn't know how bad your old one was until you get a good one, you know?
Yeah.
It's like another
Oh.
great example, grated cheese. You know, like normal bags of grated cheese that you buy in the supermarket, they have this like sort of starchy powder coating the cheese so that it doesn't clump into one disgusting mass in the bag, which makes sense for that kind of product. But if you're intending cheese to like melt onto like a casserole or like in like a mac and cheese, that starchy powder is going to make it melt weird. And for a long time, I was like, it doesn't actually matter all that much. And then I made like a delicious like Tuscan mac and cheese with like chicken and sun-dried tomatoes and spinach. It was delicious. And I grated all my own cheese for it. And oh my God, it makes such a difference. I didn't know, and now I know. And it's so worth it. It's a pain in the butt, but it is so worth it in the end to grate your own cheese. I'm an adult.
Yes. You're a responsible adult.
Yeah, a responsible
responsible
adult who
thing.
recently bought 2 more sets of Dungeons and Dragons dice.
Hey, I can't complain. I bought a ooh, very nice. I bought a PlayStation Portal, so
Nice. Yeah. Oh. Before we get into our main topic of the day, which is we're not recording a podcast. That's tomorrow, at least for me. Before we get into our main thing, I do want to remind everyone that we have Patreon. It's patreon.com/Gamepodular. If you like us talking about more things we get excited about as an adult, and also video games, mostly video games, send us some money there if you like what we do. You don't have to, of course. We say this every time, but it remains to be true. It's tough out there. Take care of yourself first. But if you got some extra dollar dues lying around and you want to send us some of them, we would really appreciate it. You can also do the same at ko-fi.com/Gamepodular. That's ko-fi/Gamepodular. Check out our podcasts at Gamepodular.com and Spotify and every podcast service under the sun that you could probably imagine. There are so many more of those than I could even think of. I'm very not tuned into other people's podcasts. I listen to a couple of them, but I'm not a podcast fiend. I used to be more. I've listened to a whole most of the Magnus Archives as a narrative podcast. And I've listened to a decent chunk of the Adventure Zone as a tabletop RPG podcast, but not so much anymore. But yeah, I always use Apple Podcasts because I have an iPod, not an iPhone, an iPod. I have not the old iPod Touch, but the most recent ones with the touchscreen that are the size of what phones used to be, you know. Look at the difference. My phone is a goddamn brick compared to this iPod Touch. And it's great. Anyway. What were we talking about?
My first iPad was the iPod Classic.
Oh, I loved my Classic. I was so mad when it stopped working. It still functioned, but it wouldn't connect to my PC anymore, so I couldn't change the music on it anymore.
Oh no.
Also, the play and pause button became temperamental, let's say. It still technically worked. You just had to give it a couple tries before it did. But, oh man, I miss my iPod Classic. 160 gigs.
I only had the 80 gig one.
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend this is a 64 gigabyte iPod Classic, and it's not full, but it's close. I do have, I listen to a lot of music, and my music library keeps expanding because I love music and I keep buying more music. So it's getting close, and there's some things in there that I could probably trim. Realistically speaking, when's the last time I listened to the Arcade Fire? I have one album by them, so it's not going to make that much of a difference. But but I have a bunch of wrestling themes on here. When I became a wrestling fan 10 years ago, or 9 years ago, maybe. Was it 10? It could have been 10. No, it was 10. It was 2015 or 2014? No, 15. Final answer. Yeah, that I probably don't need anymore. I don't need to listen to. This is going to be really funny if you're a wrestling fan, and you're not going to understand if you're not, so I apologize in advance. I don't need to listen to any more of CFOS's 50-second loops that are just the same 50 seconds over and over again for 3.5 minutes. I don't really need to do that anymore. I listen to good music now.
Aha.
Wow, I'm amped up today. I'm ready to play some Luigi's Mansion. Speaking of which...
Woo! Yeah.
Look, it's Luigi's Mansion.
A hit new game.
It is. That's not the right... it is for some people it's new, because... I mean, for me it is, if nothing else. So last time we played Luigi's Mansion, I sort of... I don't want to say got lost necessarily.
Did you want to load up the save state that you added?
Yep. I was definitely not filling time while I set up the screen share.
So sorry.
Alright. Because we're playing Luigi's Mansion, and I'm pressing the wrong buttons. Nope, that's... I just want... It's the map. Too much to ask for. This is the problem with playing so many games at the same time. Is... You get confused. Or at least I do. Because, like, I'm still playing a lot of Pokemon Legends ZA.
Yeah.
I recently hit over 50 hours of playtime. And... What? Come on. And I also have been playing a little bit, maybe... No, you didn't, because the screen share wasn't set up yet. I've been playing some of the Kirby Air Riders Global Test Ride. And that's been fun.
Yeah. I still... It's a bit... it's sort of a bit too hectic. I gotta get me into it more.
I'm going to be talking about it on N-Focus during tomorrow's recording, so I don't want to get like too deep in the weeds on it. But my main thing about it is, I really have to get used to the idea that attacking enemies doesn't slow them down, but it speeds you up.
Okay.
And honestly, like, not... Like, I say speed up, it gives you, like, a very short boost. Emphasis on short. And so, for better or worse, this game is more skill-based.
Yep.
Which means there's less opportunities for catch-up mechanics, you know? Let's see what's over here.
Oh yeah.
But I'm having a great time. I had a great time. I don't think it's available anymore. Like, I think the last one was like last night.
It comes out in a couple of weeks, doesn't it?
It does. And if you want to see us stream it live, and if you want to see your first impressions of it, you can watch us stream it live at twitch.tv/Gamepodular, which is right here, I suppose.
Heyo.
On Friday the 21st at 10 a.m. GMT. I did recently put in my pre-order for it at the local game store. And not gonna lie, I am convinced, just based on the global test ride, that I am going to enjoy it, but
yeah,
that game costs €74.99.
Yep.
And that's terrifying. Okay, these yarn balls are really annoying. Oh, come on. Like, I know I'm part of the problem because I did pay for it, but video games should not cost that much. Like,
especially for something that was originally on the GameCube.
Well, originally is a strong word. Like, it's a sequel, you know?
Okay.
They did put all of the levels from the GameCube original in it, so it's like...
Okay.
Did you watch the second direct at all?
I didn't.
I don't blame you. It was an hour long. but I think we talked about this last time we streamed as well. I was like sort of like I was like medium excited after the first direct, and after the second one I was like, oh, okay, I'm all in.
My understanding with Kirby Air Ride original was it wasn't so much the races that people really got into. It was the multiplayer city aspect.
The city trial, yeah. And they have significantly expanded it for this one.
I mean, that was for the global test fire. That was fun.
Yeah. It reminds me of another Sakurai game, the multiplayer for Kid Icarus Uprising. And I love that game. I think I talk about it like every stream. B, I was like kind of good at it. You know, I wasn't amazing, but I was pretty good. And I don't want to like pat myself on the back too hard, but I did win my first ever city trial. I got stomped into the dirt in my second one, but we don't need to spend too much time talking about that. Yeah, City Trial looks dope. And similarly to a lot of Sakurai projects, it just has so many like interesting features and alternate modes and all that kind of thing. And I'm into that kind of thing. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I spent a lot of time doing the Miss Petunia. The like bag the bag in Smash Bros. The bag, you know, the bag. With the baseball bat. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I spent a lot of time doing that. But I did. So I need to find some ice. Ah, right, those. This is the problem with playing games on stream, is it becomes weird to play them off stream. And so, like, we streamed, what, a week ago?
Yeah.
And I've been playing other games in the meantime, you know, I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter again recently. I was sort of like off it for a while, but now I'm like back, baby.
Is that Wilds?
Yeah. Title Update 4 is coming out like mid-December, and it's introducing the first Elder Dragon to this edition. Oh my god. Oh. And that's gonna be exciting. I still have yet to beat the Final Fantasy crossover mission. Because they did a like, the crossover went two ways. Like, Final Fantasy XIV got Arkfeld, and Monster Hunter Wilds got Omega Planetus, I think it's pronounced. And that thing's really hard. And I have yet to successfully beat it. Okay, so I have to go, like, around? Because there's no way... I also just, like, is there a good source of ice here? Ooh. Fancy. And if you are a Final Fantasy XIV player watching this, how's Arkfeld been? I'm curious, because I don't play that game. I did consider it. I think I see. Talked about this before. About how, like, I was, like, considering Final Fantasy XIV for a while, because it was, like, Monster Hunter, like, Wilds hadn't even been announced at that point. And I was just like, I've kind of just run out of things to do in Rise.
Yep.
So I was like, do I get into Final Fantasy XIV? It has a famously, like, very good, like, very generous, free experience.
Oh, yeah.
As the copy pasta loves pointing out. This is probably fine. Maybe I should have saved before I did this.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Okay, I have to suck the mask off first. Don't take that out of context. I wish you got healed when you captured a ghost. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Ah, too late. Okay. Well, at least we got the annoying one out of the way. Come. Go. Asking ye shall receive. Oh, another one. Oh, more. Oh, come on.
Oh.
I wasn't allowed to move yet. I call BS. Come on. Yep, that is definitely what that means. You know, I don't mean to complain when I say this, when I talk about this, because, you know, just for, like, finding an audience, I think, oh my god, the not swearing thing we do is generally a good thing. But, like, as you have heard in private conversations we've had, I swear, like, a lot.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, like, growing up, like, it was my father who sort of instilled to me, never swear. Slowly over time, that's he sort of laxed on that, and now he's 70 now. I will expect, like, every second word that comes out of his mouth is the F word.
I mean, not to, like, stereotype too much, but Australia is a country that famously is known for swearing.
Yeah.
Like, you have a lot of people there have a very lax approach to what for Americans is one of the worst swear words, you know?
If it's the
one that starts with a C.
Okay, so in Britain, I know that's the case. In Australia, there will be some people who sort of view that it can be a term and endearment, but there'll be other people who will class us as vile. Like,
yeah,
it is not like the UK, I would say.
Okay. Oh, hello.
It is.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I just shoot this at the
Like-
moon? Nope, I missed. Okay. Like, my parents were not, like... They didn't, like, necessarily try to instill it in us as kids. Oh, I did. insert your own reference to Yu-Gi-Oh here. Do you even know what I'm talking about when I say that?
I know Yu-Gi-Oh, so look. You say something blowing up the moon.
Yeah.
I imagine that happened in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like.
Yeah. See, the thing with Yu-Gi-Oh is when they were making the show, I'm like 80% sure I'm right when I say this. When they were making the show, the actual rules of the card game weren't like that formalized yet. And so, and it certainly didn't look like it does now. But, so you have these instances of like, there's nothing here. Where it's like, oh yes, I'm gonna win this duel because like, oh yeah, this guy is using like undead monsters and they're becoming more powerful because of the moon. So, summon Skull, destroy the moon. And that's how Yugi won the duel. I don't know if it was Summon Skull. Maybe it was Dark Magician. It is kind of funny. This is a thing that a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh fans point out. That, like, Dark Magician is Yugi's best card.
Okay.
But, like, Summon Skull has the same amount of attack points, and you need to sacrifice one monster instead of two to play it.
Okay.
Now, granted, Dark Magician is better defensively, it has more defense, and B, even at the time, it had more things that, like, synergized with it, although Summon Skull is part of an archetype nowadays. Fun fact, modern printings of Summon Skull have, like, italics text on it that say, this card is always counted as an Archfiend card.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, I don't have any ice yet. Yeah, in a lot of cases, Summon Skull is just like, better. Okay, well that was annoying. Come on, oh my god. I'm okay. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Let's see how far back this is actually going to take us. Because I did put a save point, like, pretty soon. Pretty close to where we died. Alright. And if nothing else, this is going to give us an opportunity to get some ice. Not that I remember where that is. But, the thing I wanted to sort of get into today, I think I mentioned this before we went live, is the current discourse on the old Blue Sky, or at least it was yesterday, is about nag lines, as I guess we're calling them. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it's like when, like, the character you're playing or another character will point out something that, hey, you should probably do this. And a great example of a game where I've played it is, like, God of War 2018, where,
yeah,
you know, you'll just finish a mission and then you'll be back in like the big lake thing, and then Atreus will say like, this would be a great time to do some exploring. And I don't know if you could call it a hot take necessarily on that kind of thing, but I think nag lines are good, actually.
Okay.
And it is for the simple reason that I like having a lot of guidance when I play video games. It's one of the main reasons I couldn't get into Breath of the Wild, is I do not like games where they're like, all right, you beat the tutorial. Go do things. Or like, all right, you beat the tutorial. Here, the next place you have to go to is called this. Do you want to tell me where it is? Not particularly. Cool.
I guess with the current Discord, it is because of the previews for Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. And you do run into an issue, like, we do want to preface this by saying we're recording this before Metroid Prime 4 is officially out. So we have not had an opportunity to play it ourselves. And honestly, like, I don't know if I'm going to buy it on launch. Like, I think I've talked about this before. I kind of want to play Metroid Primes 2 and 3 first. And those have not been released on a system that I own. So,
Nintendo, get on that.
Yeah. Or Retro Studios. So it will not be a launch day buy for me. And based on the previews that I've read and the discussion that has gone around, like, I do think that making the nag lines come from a comedy relief character is probably a bad idea, because then you do run into the idea that, like, comedy is extremely subjective, and comedy relief characters, as we've seen with Claptrap, can be extremely polarizing.
Yeah. Claptrap, I think, is a really... That's a annoying... That's a very intentionally annoying, but nothing really memorable from that Claptrap. I sort of... Just going forward, I was sort of thinking in the lines, because you've played, Doom Eternal?
I have not played Doom Eternal.
Because there's a sort of... There is, like, they've only got a few lines, but there is sort of a geeky character who's obsessed with the Doom Slayer. It's kept relatively short. It is sort of jokingly endearing, sorry. Like, they're not constantly telling you, although actually, in saying that, Doom Eternal does have one of the, not so much nagging, but sort of it will tutorialize everything to a weird extent. Like, you'll go up to a boss and it'll tell you, okay, this is what the boss's weak points are. This is how you defeat it. It's like, oh, okay, I sort of wanted to figure out how to do that by myself, but whatever.
Mario.
I have sort of mixed feelings on that. Like, the one thing I will say about, on that subject is, I do like, I mean, as I mentioned a lot of times, I like Monster Hunter, and a big part of Monster Hunter is, like, you fight a new monster for the first time, and you figure out its attack patterns and its moves and best to counter it. But if it is a monster that is, like, that works very differently from everything else, this is something that we did see in Doom Eternal. I do appreciate a little bit of, like, hey, this enemy works differently from literally every other enemy in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some ice. Here we go. And I do vehemently disagree with H-Bomber Guy's criticism of how that was designed.
Oh yeah.
But I like
Doom Eternal.
Yeah, like that one specific enemy in Doom Eternal. Like, obviously he's playing it up for laughs, but like,
Mario.
see, I forget what that boss enemy is called in Doom Eternal. Unfortunately,
Marauder.
Mario.
that sounds about right to me.
It's the
Like
one where people got really annoyed because they couldn't just defeat them like any sort of weapon. You had to wait until it had an opening and
Yeah,
got it.
that is indeed the one I'm thinking of. And then they patched in a little splash screen of, hey, this enemy doesn't work like the other ones. You need to wait for an opening. And he hated that. And I'm like,
Well, I do remember that splash screen was always there when you first encountered an enemy. I think what they did was that in the later patch, they ended up when the enemy is stunned,
around.
it will actually make a sound like a like a cartoon character with stars or birds around them when they're dazed and confused.
Okay.
Yeah. So not only can you see it, but you can also hear it. And I don't mind that. I think that's what they got annoyed at. But
But I think H-Bomber Guy, he's like a good YouTuber and he's a good researcher, and he's capable of like presenting his research in an both informative and entertaining way. I just like fundamentally disagree with him with a lot of his like media analyses. Like, I'm not a fan of Fallout 3, but I think his Fallout 3 video was like way overblown. Like,
yeah, played out a bit. Like, I admittedly, New Vegas is a vastly better game.
I don't doubt it.
But,
I've never played it.
Fallout, I mean, I played Fallout 3 originally when it came out. It was fine. I liked it.
And his Deus Ex Human Revolution video, I didn't even finish that one, because to be honest, I thought it was like extremely repetitive.
Yeah.
Like his point is also just like, it's straight up in the video, right? Like, Deus Ex Human Revolution is fine, and you don't need, in my opinion, 27 examples of like, here's what Deus Ex Revolution did. Deus Ex did this generally better, but Human Revolutions was pretty okay. Repeat ad infinitum. Well, not infinitum necessarily, but repeat for 3.5 hours, you know?
Yeah.
Although I do wonder when his next video is going to come out.
Apparently he's it's up on their Patreon.
Yeah, I saw like the first like hour and a half is up on Patreon or something, which I don't support him on Patreon. I actually like recently canceled some of my Patreon stuff because November and December are very expensive months.
Yep. You gotta take care of yourself.
Although I will say, I maybe only should have canceled one of them and not some of the other ones, because, and I recognize what I'm about to say is 100% my own fault, and I don't blame the Patreon person for this in the slightest. But they were like they're a Patreon account that makes like tabletop RPG maps. You know, they make like battle maps that you can plug into your own campaigns and use. And can I open? Can I open the box, please? There we go. And when I signed up for their €5 tier, I was under the impression that it was €5 a month and not €5 a map, which is what it was. And so they regularly had like like 5 to 6 maps a month. And so I was like, I definitely just paid them €30 this month, you know? And that adds up real quick.
Yeah.
And I get it, you know, like €5 a map is perfectly logical because they're individual pieces of work. Sometimes you only need the one, but you still want to get paid for it. Sometimes someone still only needs the one, but still wants to get paid for it. Oh my god. I was not close to that explosion. But yeah, the discovery that I was regularly paying them like €30 a month means that 2 of those other Patreons I probably didn't need to cancel. But like I said, November and December are expensive months, so I'm not gonna like go back and change it. I'll re-up on some of them like in January.
Yep.
Oh my god, I wasn't paying attention. That's on me. I'm not gonna get mad at it.
You get a little mad.
Maybe mad at myself, but I'm not gonna blame. I do blame the game for that.
Okay.
That was garbage.
That was butterscotch.
Gimme. No. I see. I have to go down one. Leave me alone. Oh no, I have to go back to go down. I'm okay. But yeah, in general, like to go back to the previous topic, like, I don't mind nag lines as long as they're like utilitarian, I guess. Like you're allowed to put personality in there, but as soon as you start trying to make them funny, like what Metroid Prime 4 is apparently attempting to do, I do worry a little bit because comedy can be very polarizing.
I sort of feel like they're sort of trying to be in on a joke. It's like, yes, this character is annoying. From what I hear, it's not the, because the thing is, Metroid is that it is supposed to be a solitary game. You are exploring by yourself, and you have someone to go in there saying, "Oh, you should look. How do we get into this?" Sort of hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Before I hear, there's only like sort of the introduction. A lot of game is still exploratory. But the thing is that people forget is that Metroid Prime 3 sort of started to introduce like characters. I guess people, I sort of guess people are sort of worried it's going to turn into like an Metroid Other M situation, which I do not think that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, I genuinely believe they learned from their mistakes after Other M.
I still think Other M should be re-released on Switch or Switch 2. It's not the greatest, but don't leave it out on just the Wii.
$10 says, okay, I'm just gonna go out of this room and then make a drop a save state again.
That's a good idea.
But like I definitely think that nag lines are like, I have definitely had experiences playing games where I'm like, I genuinely don't know what to do next. And one of those lines would come up and like, I hadn't even considered that. Holy crap. You know? And this comes into a broader conversation on accessibility, I think. Where like, I don't think a game needs to be for everyone, but I do think it needs to be for anyone. Oh, I gave up too early. And sometimes that means that you make design decisions for people of a lower skill level than what you might be used to playing. And like, oh my god, I did it again. And as long as it helps someone, I'm not going to be mad about it, you know? Hill?
I sort of feel like, I don't know, I'm not a game designer, but I sort of feel like you can create the game you want, the difficulty you think it is, and then once you've got that figured out, it's like, okay, now if I can make an easier option, you know, I increase, say, like, the player's health, or increase enemies' health, or increase the strength. I sort of feel like you can get away with that.
Yeah, like the main example I go to when talking about, especially like difficulty as it relates to accessibility, because as I am always very quick to point out, those are not necessarily the same thing, is Celeste. Like, Celeste is a game that is like a purposefully difficult precision platformer that requires some like pixel perfect jumps and high reaction times, but it has so many features to be like, do you just not want to take damage from spikes because you want to play the game? Here you go. Yeah. And like, I will admit, I never finished Celeste. I played a little bit of it, but I never finished it. The point of Celeste is all about like, thematically, it's about like overcoming adversity to find yourself, right? And I don't want to put words in the designer Maddie Thorsten's mouth necessarily, but I feel like she made the decision to be like, adding these features to make my game easier doesn't necessarily have to compromise the like artistic vision and theming of the game, because especially when it comes to overcoming adversity, everybody is running on a different like level of adversity. And like, what is a comfortable level of difficulty and adversity for some is completely untenable for others. And adding features like that just levels the playing field, you know? I can't remember why I started talking about this. Right, naglines. And naglines is a great example of that. Like, sure, there are going to be people who are going to be like, I think they're annoying, I want to discover everything for myself. And then there are people like me who are going to be like, okay, well, you know, I do like the sense of discovery and learning how to play the game as I play it, but sometimes I need a bit of a hand. And naglines are a great, like, compromise for that. But again, you have to, like, make them not annoying. You have to make them as not annoying as possible.
I'm currently playing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Finally. I mean, I'm going through like you got prowler missions, and there's certain sections where you have to go. I have to be a specific spot to be able to like pull a door open with my webs or something. I'm like, okay, where's the spot? Where's the spot? And over time, I think like after a minute, it'll go, okay, this is the spot you need to go to. Oh, okay. Just a little bit of a hint to just guide you there.
Yeah. And especially
That's
if
fine.
you like give the player like, especially if it's like a puzzle, just give them the player like a minute or two before you start incorporating them, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, we've done there. There was another door that I had a key to that I can't find on the map, which is slightly annoying. It's the roof. Because I got a key from the rocking chair ghost. That opened a door. Maybe it's that one? Okay, I'm there, so I have to go. Oh, I have to go all the way around again. I just want this door here to be unlocked. Is that too much to ask? Anyway, oh, I should save again. And
Mario?
there is also some part of the discussion that I think is less relevant, but no less, like, but still important to talk about, I think, is a lot of people also just don't pay attention to games. And that is, like, unfortunate because games are a really exciting and interesting art form. But to also an extent, like, that's what we're doing right now. You know? Like, my attention is divided to not only, like, keeping an eye on Twitch chat, but also just maintaining this conversation with you. And that does divide my attention somewhat. And there are people who, like, listen to podcasts while they play story-heavy games, and that part I don't agree with. Like, what are you doing? The game has a story. Pay attention to it. But I do get, like, cognitive accessibility is a lot harder to quantify and design for, and I don't want to, like, sit here and make assumptions about people necessarily. How the no, I have to, like,
Have to get a fire. You have to get like a fire one to burn those candles. Do that again.
no, I think I'm done there. I just went the wrong way.
Okay. Now I will give a very bad example, but sort of somewhat related to discussion. I'm going to talk to you about your most favoriteest game of all the time,
Oh yeah,
which is Fortnite.
Yep, I sure love that game.
Yeah. Now, it is going through a season, the Simpsons season, and the way Fortnite works is that it's got its own sort of like quest you can do within the game to level up your character to get new skins and all that.
Yeah, like
Stuff.
get X kills with shotguns or whatever, that kind of thing, right?
Like the Simpsons ones, you've got unique ones that you got to go through the whole town and see. You got to notice 12 references or help certain characters. Like you got to help Ned Flanders or Marge. But like there's one. The big one is that you gotta. Homer's apparently got some shard in his TV remote, and that's why he's created all these like Fortnite stuff. And there's a whole like little story towards it. But the thing is, like, you go to these characters, and they have like, it's not spoken dialogue, but it's text dialogue, and so you can read through it. But you're sort of in that thing where it's like, well, I do want to read it, but at the same time, I'm in a match with like goodness knows how many people are still on the map. I don't want to get eliminated.
Yeah,
I still
and,
want to
like,
beat
the
this
zone
quest.
keeps shrinking because it's a battle
Yeah.
royale game, and
Exactly, and so I sort of, in that instance, it's like I have to hurry up. I just go, okay, bam, 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 bam. Okay, I've completed the quest. I didn't get any of the story because I'm afraid someone's gonna bop me off if I try to actually go ahead and read it.
that is like the weirdest thing about like the way Fortnite does those kinds of quests to me is like, because there's so much like attention involved in battle royale games. You know, you constantly have to be on your guard because there could be someone around any corner who's just gonna take you out and ruin your run, and you have to start a new match. And so like, it is interesting to have a situation where you have to do that and also some other things. But it does, I think, it feels like to me it can create a lot of feel bads where you're like, I was like, I've done 8 of these 12 like notice the reference things, but then I just got killed by a sniper rifle, you know?
Now, I will say in Fortnite, you do actually, it does count towards it. If you've done 8, then you get eliminated. If you've got 12 to do, you've only got to do 4 more
Okay.
moving forward.
Mario?
So it does, most of the time it does that. There are some instances where it goes like, you have to get 3 kills within a single, like do something 3 times within a single match. And so you have kind of, you go and worry. And I sometimes getting instances where it's like, okay, this is the last thing I got to do. I see someone's trying to get at me. I'm going, look, just in my moment, I'm going, look, can you please just let me do this one thing? Once I've done this one thing, it's all yours. You can get my kill.
I feel like, okay, if I go there, go through there, I'll be back there.
I sort of feel like with those candles, like, wouldn't it still be lit up if you did that? Or I know you did originally, but then you died. I don't know.
Oh, no. Oh, I think you are right. Because the way I'm sort of interpreting how this map works is, like, rooms that are lit up, you finished. Actually, I have an easy way to check this, I think. Assuming I can find the correct button.
Mario!
That's the Mario
for the inventory. Which is not this one. It's not this one. Nope. I had one. Isn't there an inventory? Am I crazy?
Well, there would be one. Maybe the R button? No, not that.
Ah, yeah, it's... Oh, yeah, I don't have the star anymore. It didn't save
Yeah.
that part. Oh, God, you're right. Ugh. Okay, so I have to go... I have to find a fire element again. See, it's this kind of game... It's this kind of thing as well, where, like, cognitive accessibility. Like, I wish I could just, like, put pins on the map. You know?
Oh, yeah.
And a thing in Hollow Knight as well, like the fact that you have to have a specific item equipped to be allowed to know where you are on the map is just kind of terrible to me. Like I get it as a method of like, oh yeah, we want to emphasize the like size and loneliness of this world, but I do also think that you have to make some concessions to your theme to just make your game fun, you know?
Yeah.
And there's going to be sickos out there who are on your side. But there's going to be a lot of people who you're going to turn off by doing that. And that is, I think, one of the hardest things to quantify when designing video games, is how, like, because games are both an artistic medium and a commercial product. So how do you toe the line between, we want to make this as, like, what's the word I'm looking for? As accessible to as many people as possible. And on the other side, how do we, like, I'm gonna make another save point, because we have made progress. And on the other hand, like, we do have, like, a story and a theme we want to tell here. And how do we do that without compromising, like, our potential player base? Because if we want to make more games, it does have to sell. And that's something really interesting to think about. We're almost at... Oh, we're past our breakpoint already. And I should have... I'm going to pause.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back for... I really need to go to the bathroom, actually. So I'm going to pause. We're going to... be gone for a couple of minutes, and then we'll be back with more Luigi's Mansion. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wrong one. Hello, we're back from break. We are refreshed. We have been hydrated and also unhydrated. Dehydrated means something else.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, fight. Another thing I was also thinking about while I was in the bathroom is, and it has to do with naglines and talking of accessibility and stuff as well, is I also, like, because I play tabletop RPGs, I think about video games very differently to them. Because video games, what the player can do is also somewhat limited to what the developers, like, thought of, right? Because there's only so many mechanics you can program into a game before you actually, you know, it has to come out at some point. And tabletop RPGs do have a bit of that, where you have, you know, the game has rules, and some things you want to do are against the rules. Oh, right, I have to use the light to shock them. God. But you have so much more freedom to use your imagination in tabletop RPGs, where in video games, I have had a lot of times where it's just like, where I'll think of something and be like, that would be really cool if it worked, and it doesn't in the video game. They just didn't program that in. And other times where it'll just be like, what if this worked? And it actually does, and those are, like, really fun and exciting. But those are a lot rarer. And so sometimes I do need the extra guidance of, like, hey, here are the pieces of the puzzle, and here are the locations you need to, like, consider. And sometimes, and I'd rather, like, have an in-game character... Yeah, I was so close. I'd rather have an in-game character point them out, because at least it has verisimilitude than, like, a pop-up showing up on screen to be like, hey, have you tried not being an idiot? Like, did you know that you can use colors to do things? Oh my god, thought I was pointing it. Anyway.
It's sort of, with the video game, you sort of have to go, what are the specific rules? Because it is very, you cannot adjust the rules within a game unless, you know, you get some sort of cheat. This
Yeah.
is not like a tabletop or even like a sport. You know, sport does have rules, but sport is not bound. A specific sport, like unless it's like something like professional, sport is for play, effectively,
Yeah.
and anybody can do it, and anybody can change the rule to how they want.
Yeah. And also,
And
in
this is sort of the thing.
games that have like a lot of options, like, let's look at a recent example for Echoes of Wisdom, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom from last year. You had like all of these things in your library of I forget, echoes, and so you could think of just like so many different ways of solving problems. But let's be realistic for a second. How many, like, did you actively go out of your way to try and think of different solutions to all the problems? Or were you just like, okay, well, it's time to bust out the trampoline again, you know? And like, ooh, it's a combat encounter. Yeah, it's a combat encounter. Ooh, time to spawn in the same Moblin level 3 that I always do. Because, like, there were some things in that game where it was legitimately like, ooh, I have to do something different because they thought of, like, they thought ahead of time, just like, yeah, this is going to be the way that most people try this, so we're going to force them to use something else for a change. But a lot of the times, just like, once you get the water block, like, it's all ogre, right? Like,
This is the whole thing with Breath of the Wild. It's such a change because Zelda, as a franchise, up until then, was very much a rigid, you know, this is how you do it by the book.
I'm going to give you a hot take here. I preferred it that way. Like, I did not enjoy Breath of the Wild. I did not play Tears of the Kingdom at all. Because, as I previously said, I need more guidance in video games. I don't just want, like, I don't know why the industry decided that everything has to be open world. Not everything, obviously, but a lot of things. Does this mean... Okay, there's still something here that I haven't done yet. And not everything, obviously. Like, I think the Zelda formula is just, like, more fun when it's, like, a semi-open world, you know? Like, like, I played Okami HD earlier this year. And Okami is, like, one of the best Zelda games of all time.
Yeah.
And part of that is, like, you know, there's stuff to do in the overworld. Like little side missions and activities and stuff. But ultimately, there is a critical path through the game that is well-defined and explicit. And Breath of the Wild, I'm sure, like, if you know what you're doing, it has that kind of as well. But it just was not well-defined and explicit enough for my tastes.
Okay.
Like, something like Ocarina of Time is like, yeah, there's a lot of places you can go, but oftentimes it's gated by, like, okay, yeah, you can go to the mountain whose name I forget, the volcano, but you're gonna die because you don't have the red suit yet, you know? And having, like, a semi-open world like that still makes it feel like an environment, but making the plot structure a lot more linear, and also, like, the area design gating off things kind of like you would in a Metroidvania is just like a... I just vastly prefer that kind of gameplay. Like a game that we've mentioned before in the stream, Uncharted. I love the Uncharted games. Like, there's just something about the, like, pulpy action movie style that is structured like an action movie with a definitive beginning, middle, and end that takes you from point A to point B, that I like. It allows you to have, like, tight narrative pacing as opposed to, like, all the flabby, like, stuff of something like a Just Cause 2, where I love Just Cause 2, don't get me wrong, but it does also sort of run into the, like, okay, you just have to do a bunch of stuff, essentially, just like chores, the equivalent of that game's equivalent of chores, before you're allowed to do the main story missions. And that way you just run into, like, that the narrative pacing just kind of blows.
Speaking of which, I'm just looking up on the PlayStation Store. It's apparently... Oh, yeah. It's apparently $7.48 Australian for the Nathan Drake collection.
That's a steal. And, like, they fixed the controls for those games as well. Like, they changed the controls in some of the later ones, and they, like, have that control scheme for all of them in the Nathan Drake collection.
Okay.
Okay, now what? Honestly, like, I'd love to, like, stream the Nathan Drake collection for Gamepodular. But as previously mentioned, I currently don't have access to my PlayStation. And also, I like the PlayStation, like, the Switch 2 and plus dock is small enough that, like, I can put it on my desk sort of behind my monitor. But the PlayStation's big. Like, my PS4 is pretty large. Definitely. So I've gotten her to disappear, but that... Okay, so doing that doesn't make her hard to hear. Maybe I should... get some info this way. Okay, that's not what I meant to look at. Oh, very useful. Thanks. Oh, there it is.
Oh my goodness.
No! Stupid poison mushroom. Come on, come on. I think I did make a save state, like, right before we went in here, so if we fail, I can just reload. Because I am keenly aware of the fact that I have 2 hit points.
Well, 1 now.
Oh god. Okay, we've unlocked that one. Create suspend point. come back to this booze later. Right now I need to go... Not here. There's that... The room... The playroom. With the toys. Where there's, like... There's that chest of drawers that has... like a big heart. Okay, that's a start. God. This game sucks.
Hey.
Okay. Got a little bit of health. Alright, I'm actually... Not to immediately invoke the spirit of hubris, but I'm actually feeling pretty confident that I can just go to the next room. Because then we go down these stairs. Maybe there's some health I could get up here.
Mario! Mario?
Look at that. Go. Nope. Ooh, hello. I'm very curious what I'm picking up all this money for.
Capitalism.
Like, maybe it's just like a scoring system for the end of the game.
Mario!
Hey, it's Mr. Boojin. Gotcha. And this will give me an in-game save point as well. But difficulty in general is, I think, like a very hard topic to discuss. You might even call it a difficult topic. Heyo!
Hey.
Because it is just so... what's the word I'm looking for? Personal?
Divisive? Subjective?
Subjective. It's so subjective. Like, the example I give when I talk about it on N-Focus is like, I don't especially like Souls-likes. I think in general, most of the ones I've played are difficult in a way that I do not enjoy. And for context, I have finished Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And I've tried Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Another Crab's Treasure, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And I have finished only Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And to be honest, I only finished it because I turned it down to easy. Because I was getting fed up with annoying combat. But there are like, but I do really like Monster Hunter, which has some similarities. You know, it's like the stamina-based combat system. And granted, and in Monster Hunter, some weapons' stamina are more important than others. But I do play generally with weapons where it is like a pretty important resource to deal with. Like my main weapon in Wilds is Switch Axe, which is not like an immensely stamina dependent weapon, but I played Insect Glaive in World, which is like the second or third most stamina intensive weapon in the game, after like bow and maybe like gun lance, probably. So like what is it about Monster Hunter that I do like? That, like, why do I like Monster Hunter but not Souls-like? And I think the honest answer is, failure, even though, like, arguably failure in Monster Hunter is worse than it is in Souls games. It doesn't feel as bad. Because Souls games, like, there's just so much more, like, you die at a boss. I think we've talked about this before. You die at a boss, and, like, as long as you can get your souls or blood echoes or whatever back, you don't technically lose any in-game resources. But you do have to you do have to deal with the run back.
Yeah.
Whereas in Monster Hunter, like, you do, like, if you used a ticket to get, like, bonus rewards upon the quest to completion, you just straight up lose that ticket. Like, you have to wait to, and those are, like, daily login rewards, so there's only so many of those you get.
But this is sort of like, it's not as if you sort of, I sort of feel like with Monster Hunter, like you'll get you'll get items from monsters, you know, for building materials, but you don't lose those if you lose it in another fight.
No, exactly. And I think
whereas with Dark Souls, like, yes, you can go ahead and you do die. Yes, you will like, you lose all your souls that you haven't used up, and you can go back and run to it. But during that run back, if you die during that, that's it. It's all gone.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's sort of that's what ticks me off with Souls-like, and that's why I prefer Monster Hunter, my opinion.
And a big thing for me in Monster Hunter is because you have access to all of the weapon types at the beginning, it is so much easier to change your playstyle. Because, like, there's plenty of playstyles in Souls games, and part of it comes down to character stats, but also a big part of it just comes down to, like, the weapon and gear that you have. And there's customization. I know there's, like, weapon arts or whatever they're called, where you can, like, equip different ones for different weapons. At least you could in Elden Ring. I don't remember if that's the case for, like, Bloodborne and Dark Souls. It's been a hot minute since I played those. But, like, I feel like it has something to do with this lantern here, or this mobile. But, like, in a Souls-like, the biggest way to change up, like, the way your character functions is by equipping a different weapon. And those are weapons you have to find in the overworld. And so it is entirely possible to, like, start, or just you have to, like, just play a different character, like, and start over, essentially, or respec. And in Elden Ring, it takes a while before you find the person who takes respec items, you know? Whereas in Monster Hunter, like, just by the very nature of the way the, like, resource gathering works, like, if you say, I'm not really vibing with Greatsword anymore, but you're, like, 10 hours into the game, you've probably acquired enough, like, monster parts to build a lot of, like, heavy bowguns already to try that build, you know? And there is an upper limit to that because you can't always, like, deconstruct the weapons to get the parts back. That's not usually a thing. But it is, like, pretty easy to make the switch. And especially if you are far enough into the game that you have decorations that you can slot into your armor to give you more, like, skills to improve, like, weapon charge time, fire resistance, that kind of thing. You can just, like, switch those to a different piece of armor that you made with the parts you already have, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I recognize, like, I don't want to, like, dunk on Souls fans because, you know, Seskra is one of them, and they have made a lot of good points. And I recognize that a lot of this, that like, a good amount of this is also just, like I said with the failure thing. If you're doing it, like, somewhat right, failure in a Souls-like is arguably, like, less punishing than it is in Monster Hunter, you know? A lot of it does just come down to feeling. But video games are art, and art is supposed to evoke feelings in you. And so, like, it's not something...
Load the mobile?
And so, unfortunately, like, whether or not, like, if you look at the numbers, they're less punishing in Souls-likes, like, I can't get over the fact that it feels worse. And so, like, I have been, one of the things I've really been trying to do is, like, meet, like, when I try to engage with a piece of art, being it a video game or a movie or an album, like, meet it on its terms instead of trying to force it into mine. And that has, like, made me realize that, like, I do actually like Hollow Knight. Like, that was a very successful stream idea that we did. But, you know, that's not going to work for everything. And I've tried that for, maybe I do need to go back and try it for Elden Ring, I suppose. Because that is the one that, like, has, I think, the lowest barrier to entry of the ones I own. Because, like, I own Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition, but, like, you have to, like, install a mod for it and stuff, and I don't really feel like doing that. I mean, you don't have to, I guess, but it's generally recommended that you do. I'm gonna, like, what am I missing here? Maybe something.
I think the mobile is. I think the mobile is right. You just gotta get it right to keep spinning.
Well, hey, this is the nursery that has this that I was talking about.
For all the Souls games that I played, I've only ever beaten Dark Souls. Is the Switch one Prepare to Die edition?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to, like... Okay, well, that's cash money. That's not nothing. See, the problem is it just stops at a certain point because it's, like, in the jet stream of the backlog. Oh, there we go. I finally did it. Hey, mister, what are you doing all over there? Hey, why don't you play hide and seek with us? Alright. Sounds good to me. Okay, I was gonna do the sarcastic, like, ooh, I wonder where they could be, but there are actually 5 of them.
Mario! Oh yeah.
Okay. Could it be so easy that they went into the same one again? I didn't think so. Okay, so there. Maybe I try this one next. I'm just trying to see if there is, like, a pattern and not just... it's random every time. Let's go. So theoretically, maybe I have to do both of them. That sucks.
Mario!
So where were they? Okay, so let's try red spots and green next time if they're just rotating around the room. You know what I should have done? I should have put a save state between getting the first one and the second one. Okay, there is no pattern. It's just random every time. Cool. I love
Mario!
guessing. And now we create suspend point.
But that'll affect the difficulty.
Oh yeah. Mario! Oh yeah.
Oh, I should
No,
probably
is it in the far
check and
left?
see. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, time to fight. I think also with difficulty, there's also a fine line between like, you know, interesting challenge that's like takes effort to overcome but is satisfying, and just being annoying. And it's very difficult to ride that as a designer, especially because, like with other things difficulty related, what someone finds annoying, another person will find satisfying. For example, the lack of like iframes in this game, where you can just get like slammed like 3 or 4 times, I think is very annoying. Or like when you can like get, you can take damage while like your character model is just recovering, and you have no like ability to perform any game inputs. I think is very annoying. And some other person will be like, oh no, it forces you to really think of like where you are. And some people might find that very satisfying. I don't know. I'm like literally constructing a man out of straw when I say this here, you know? Like, I'm making up a guy to get mad at. It's true.
It
I should
smells
take a
like
screenshot.
Mario's feet. How would he know what his feet smell like?
Well, they do live together,
Mario!
so they probably put their shoes in the same place.
Mario!
Could have also be they're brothers, and so they try and gross each other out.
That's a classic. Classic sibling move. Right. Should have checked. I'm more mad at myself than the game for that one, to be honest. Like that's the kind of annoying that's like, okay, I kind of get it. You know, it's the booze literally messing with you. It's not always fun. but I accept it. And I can just, like... It is, in fact, my fault for not checking, because they are indicated on the map. Okay, where are we going next? We need one more Mario item. Because we have... Which button was it again? This one. We just need one more. We're doing pretty well on ghost collecting, although there's one that we've clearly, like, skipped. I don't know where that is. Is it like one of those two? No, we've been there before. I'm also, like, trying to identify what the colors of the rooms on the map means.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look at that while you play.
Yeah. Because, like, the way I see, the way I'm imagining it is, like,
Oh yeah.
dark gray is, like, you've never been here. Light gray is you've been here, but you haven't done anything. And then yellow is you've got most of it, and then green is you got all of it, and blue is also there. This is the kind of thing that I imagine would, like, be answered in the manual, which we don't have access to because we're playing on NSO.
Oh yeah.
Want to give a big shout out to Good Old Games for supplying the manual whenever possible. Like a PDF copy. Just shout out to Good Old Games in general.
Apparently, it denotes the area you're in. So the yellow is for area 1, pink for area 2, green for area 3, blue for area 4.
Oh. Okay, so why is this one room green then? Because everything else in that area is yellow. Like this one. So that's a fake, right? Yeah. What time is it? Okay. I do have kind of a hard cutoff today. Like, obviously, it's the same one as always, but, like, sometimes we do overruns, and that's definitely not possible this time. I'm, like, fully booked today.
Oh yeah.
Which is nice, you know, it was weird, like, I've got a lot of things on my schedule for this month and also next month. And so, like, yesterday and today, or yesterday and the day before, I just, like, had nothing on the schedule.
Yeah.
And having 2 days of that was wild. Like, there was still stuff I needed to get done. Like, I wrote a bunch of notes for N-Focus yesterday. This, probably this.
Okay.
Because, you know, I don't have fire. Because we're currently scheduled to record that tomorrow, and it needs to... We need notes for that. Can I get fire here? I can't. But, like, that wasn't... You know, it was a deadline, but it wasn't, like, a scheduled thing. It just needed to get done. And I did some groceries. You know, it's not like I did nothing. But yeah, I'm like... There's a movie theater here in town that runs, like, a combination of, like, old and new movies. So I'm gonna go see Once Upon a Time in the West.
Okay.
in theaters
Oh yeah.
by Sergio Leone. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I know I've interacted with this ghost before,
Oh yeah.
but I can't remember how I
Those
did
things
it.
on the side. Yeah.
Those are like incense
Every,
burners. And I did get all of the candles. I mean, I just blew one out, but that's because I ran out of fire. And to finish my thought, like, Once Upon a Time in the West is a long-ass movie. I don't necessarily mind that. Like, it's a classic. It's a really long movie. In the same theater, I also saw Seven Samurai by Akira Kurosawa. And that's also like a 3-ish hour movie.
Ooh.
But like, you know, it earns that. It's allowed to be 3 hours.
Yeah.
I've seen some long movies that I definitely think they could have used some couple more editing passes in the script department. I've gone to the movies like a lot this year.
Cool.
It's great. Projection room. What? I'm gonna drop another suspend point. I think I've remarked upon this before, like, for the GameCube, like, the fabric physics are pretty dope. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
And this is the first game on the machine.
Get out of here, get out of here. No. Damn it. Gotcha. No, didn't gotcha. Ah, right, of course, I have to keep the angle into account of the shadow. There we go. I still haven't fully mastered the, like, timing between, when the ghost is, like, how long I have to wait, essentially, between light and vacuum. Ooh, twofer. Let's go. Oh, oh. Oh. Okay, there's 2. Okay, we still have plenty of them. We're not worried. It is like, I do feel bad in a like, oh no, my stuff kind of way. But the game has yet to give me a reason to give any kind of damn about like all this money.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not like that mad that I'm. Hey,
Mario.
we got all the Mario items. Let's go back up to that place. But first, let's go back down and get some health. I feel like we're about halfway through the game. Probably more, because we've got, like, most of that floor done. Well, there's still third floor and the roof. Okay, yeah, and a good chunk of the basement. Yeah, let's say about halfway. Then we're... Okay. No, I have to go down one floor to get to the nursery. Or up one floor, rather. Could be a nursery. This is an on-fire garbage can. Could be a nursery. I was like watching like a lot of John Mulaney shows a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And that's where that's from. Like, he and his then wife were shopping around, were looking for houses, and like the real estate agent was like, they wanted them to have a child more than like the two of them did. So she'd be like, you know, this yard's perfect. Like, you don't want a yard like this. It's all concrete. You want some grass in case you have a couple little guys running around. And both of them are like, sure, not gonna happen, but alright. Oh my god. Buttons creates suspend point. What's the oldest one? That one. Alright, let's hand in the Mario items and then call it quits. Because we're coming up.
Sorry to do this, but to go back to a previous discussion we've been having, my controversial take.
Oh hell yeah!
Is that I actually like both the old style Zelda and the new style Zelda, and I don't want them to focus on one over the other. I do like both.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think that's a controversial take. Like, Zelda's just good, you know? But I think mine is controversial because...
But it's sort of like Mario. Like, you'll get 3D Mario games, but you also get 2D Mario games. And that's good.
Yeah. The one thing I worried about, and this is something that Rosalie and I have discussed as well, is... like, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were so successful that, like, we're both worried that that's just the direction that mainline Zelda's gonna go in. And I don't know how true that is, you know, Nintendo loves just trying stuff, you know? Because, like, let's be honest, Echoes of Wisdom was a spin-off. I wouldn't call it a mainline game. Okay. Maybe I should go back and talk to Toad, because I'm so used to doing menu stuff with the D-pad that, like, I haven't actually tried the other dialogue option.
I will say it is a remake.
Oh my god, I have to go back to Madame Clairvoyant.
I will say it is a remake, but Link's Awakening for the Switch did selling about 6.5 million units.
Yeah. I mean, that game's just a banger, right?
Yeah.
I admit I never finished it. I borrowed it from my brother, and because he really likes that game. And I like that it's like a really kind of weird take on Zelda and the world.
because you know the story behind it.
Yeah,
They're inspired by this Twin Peaks.
yeah. And like a good chunk of it is like literally a dream or something, right?
The
Spoilers for a game from the Super Nintendo, I guess. Or no, it's like a Game Boy game, right?
Yep. It's a Game Boy game. It was the very first game I ever bought with my own money.
Damn, dude.
I still have the original cartridge.
I have lost a lot of games over the years, mostly on airplanes, which sucks because I had some good ones. I lost one of my favorite games I've ever owned was a pirated copy of Pokemon Fire Red. That was just like very poorly translated from English to another language and then back.
Yeah.
And also everything had a character limit of like 5 or 6 maybe at most. So all the Pokemon had like weird names. Like it's Fire Red, so it's Gen 1. So like Venusaur was called Vensa.
Yeah.
Tackle was Attack 1. And so sometimes your Pokemon would learn a move and you'd be like, it would just have a bizarre name and it'd be like, okay, I guess I'm going to find out what this does the first time I use it in a battle. And I lost it on a plane. I left it like in the seat pocket in front of me on a plane, and I've never been able to get another one because I don't live in Asia anymore.
I would say for me, anything before the PlayStation, I still have my original games. Like, I still have all my Nintendo games. Like, yeah, I only had one Nintendo cartridge growing up, which was the Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt 1. I still have the Super Nintendo, so Super Star Wars, Mario All Stars, and then I've got the weirdest, because my family my mother and my brother went to Malaysia and brought back some pirated cop games.
Hell yeah.
And they had like this weirdest Street Fighter 2 for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Oh.
Where apparently it was 3 games in one. What it was that you had the normal game, and then you had a weird one where the second player would be like this weird glitchy color, and as soon as the first player hit them, they would the second player would turn into that character, the character's color palette.
Oh.
And so it'd be like if your first player was Ryu, second player was Ken. If Ryu hit Ken, Ken's gi setup would be white like Ryu's, and his hair would be red because that was the color palette for Ryu's bandana. Apparently, that's what Ken used. But
Funny.
if you ever do, there's a cheat where you can actually like be like the same character. If you have like 2 Ryus, you can hit one of them, and they both be the same color, which is funny.
I actually, I went to my parents' place last weekend, and every time I go over there, like I still have some stuff at their house, and I'm slowly like bringing it over. And so I brought back. I don't know if you're watching the stream right now, but some games that I still had over at their place.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, and this is like the heart gold that came with the Pokewalker. Yeah.
Nice.
I was like the one person in my friend group who got heart gold. Everyone else got soul silver because Luigi is cooler. Which, to be fair, it is. But someone had to be heart gold, so I got to be like, "Hey, do you want all the version exclusives? I'm the only place you can get them." And then check out, look.
Yep. Ah, nice.
It's in Dutch, baby. I don't know if you can read that.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Maak je eigen supersterke monsterteam Trotseer het eiland en win de Monster Scout Challenge. Wait, no, I have to do this properly. En win de Monster Scout Challenge. Get some Dinglish up in there. Okay, this is the cutoff time. We have to stop the stream because I have things I need to do. My mom gets here in like less than an hour. This was a blast. Our next stream is scheduled for Friday the 21st of November, where we're going to be playing some Kirby Nope, not Star Allies. Kirby Air Riders. There we go. So check us out for that. That'll appear on the stream schedule tomorrow because I can only do it a week in advance on twitch.tv. And I've already posted about it, and I'll post about it on the site, on the social medias again. As a reminder, that's at Gamepodular.com on Blue Sky. And also check us out on Discord. You can find the links for that in chat right now, or you can find them on our website at Gamepodular.com. If you want to send us some money, go to patreon.com/Gamepodular or Ko-fi.com/Gamepodular. You can send us money either way. You can do recurring things. You can do a one-off. Either way, it would be very cool. We would really appreciate it. Of course, take care of yourself first, but if you've got some extra cash, send it our way.
Nice.
Thanks for joining me, Scott. We always have just like really cool and interesting discussions on streams like this. I always have a fantastic time talking to you. New episode of N-Focus should be coming out later next week. Maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. We're supposed to be recording on Monday. I'll let you know if that changes. And I don't have like a lot of time to edit on Tuesday, so it'll probably come out on Wednesday, but we'll see. I think that's all the stuff covered. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one, y'all. I'm going to go eat some lunch. I believe you're going to go eat some dinner.
Yep.
Sorry, got to say it properly. Some dinner.
Some din-dins.
I should save. That would be a good thing to do. And we'll talk to you on the podcast feed, and if not, on the next stream. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.